Hi guys, we're ready to write our second essay and you actually are going to have two options. So I want to take a moment and go over both options because they're very different types of essays. In the next few weeks, we're going to be reading about proposal arguments and evaluations. And I thought it would be neat to give you guys two different options. You will get to select your topic for either option, but it's very two different kinds of essays that you would be potentially writing. So I would like to just let you know what the two options are. Now, the first option is to write a petition and publish it on change.org. A lot of you are probably like, what? What's that? What's change.org? I will go over that and I will show you guys the website. If you're not interested in this, the second option is to write an evaluation that is basically a counter-argument approach. And this is so interesting because, isn't it true that we can find a bunch of arguments that we agree with? But what about the ones that we don't agree with? What happens then? Well, a lot of times when we don't agree with arguments, we tend to become very emotional and then we start to fight instead of argue in a logical way. So I thought it would be cool to choose an argument that we don't agree with and we basically break it down. We dissect that argument and we evaluate it. So that's our second option. Now I want to go back to the beginning and show you guys some of the steps that we're going to take if you're interested in option one, which is writing a petition. The first thing to know is what exactly a petition is. So I have a dictionary definition for you here that I wrote down. Basically, just to sum it up in my own words, a petition is a persuasive form of writing that is intended to have a direct consequence. So on change.org, which is a platform that is for petitions to eventually become laws, the goal is to get signatures. So let me just show you guys really quickly what I'm talking about. When you go to change.org, this is the website. If you would like to learn more about it, of course, you can, click here, read the About section. What you're going to find is actually it's really easy to start a petition. Petitions can be started by regular people like you and me. We have an idea, something's going on in our community, like, right now with the COVID-19, the coronavirus, there's tons of petitions going around with people really wanting to make legitimate changes to their community. So this is one example, let's say. Again, they're coming from regular people. What I would like you guys to do is just take a moment and read some of these trending topics. Like right now, obviously, it's the coronavirus, and that's huge at this moment. But then also here's other trending topics that's going around. You can click on any of the topics, read what some of the petitions are. You can even sign the petition. So let me just show you one. I'm going to click here. Wow, check this out. This petition is almost going to be delivered. That's crazy. Look, it's being signed as we speak. So chances of this petition being signed are very high. It's almost at its goal. Ooh, look at that. It's asking me to sign. Okay, not yet because I have to read it first. So notice how the petition is structured. The first thing you do on change.org is you create a title that's going to be engaging and compelling. It's going to captivate a reader's attention. Because keep in mind, online traffic is within seconds, right? We lose our interest, we're going to move on to the next website or the next article. So you really want to create a title that is going to be, short, sweet, to the point, kind of captivating. And then notice that most petitions are going to have a picture. Sometimes it'll be a photograph, sometimes it'll be like a meaningful image, something that's powerful, something that resonates. Visuals are really, really strong pieces of persuasion just because, we are such visual learners. So the picture really helps. And then in your petition, you're going to include your name. So these are American chefs. So like this is, a combined effort. It's not just one single person writing it. It's actually multiple people. But for you, it'll be your name. So if I start the petition, I'm Hasmik. It's going to be Hasmik Barsamian started this petition to, and then you create an audience. So where do you want your petition to be delivered? You have to decide this. If you want some suggestions, you can always ask me if you have an idea for a petition. Just, send a quick email my way and I'll let you guys know. Like there's tons of petitions now being sent to the White House, to President Trump. It really depends on the scale of the idea you have. And then, of course, notice how the bulk of the writing is actually, it's more online article style, which means it's not an MLA format. It is single spaced. There isn't a tab for paragraph indentation because online articles are all aligned to the left. And of course, there's a space in between the paragraphs. There is no particular font type. You can select that yourself. And of course, after the petition ends, you have the option to sign it. You can even leave comments at the bottom. It's pretty cool. It's just a website. You can interact with one another. So this is one that is gaining a lot of popularity. And once you are ready, you publish this petition and it'll look like this. So basically, when you include the link of your petition in your assignment portal, once I click on the link, let's say a page like this will open, and if I am convinced by your argument, I can always sign it. So that's kind of awesome because last semester, this is a cool little story. I had a student whose petition actually went to the next level. So what happens when these petitions pass is this is how our everyday laws are really, put into action. It starts somewhere. And back in the days, it used to be like, person by person petition signing. Sometimes you'll get that at the supermarket, but now we have online forums for that. And if a petition gains enough popularity, enough signatures, it's going to pass to the next phase, which hopefully is going to go to some kind of government official that has enough power to make a change. So once you guys are ready with your idea, you click here and you follow the instructions. So you're going to have to just like follow along, like what kind of topic is this? Let's say, it's a topic about animals, and then you want to continue. And then of course, you could, write whatever your idea is. So write your petition title. See, this is very specific. I wrote this last time. Bring back Marvel shows on Netflix. I mean, right now we have bigger problems than the Marvel shows on Netflix, but that was my idea. And I was like, I'm really interested in this idea. I'm going to write that. Okay, continue. And then, of course, who has the power to make a change? Now, what I want to do is, I don't even know this, to be honest. I don't know who the CEO of Netflix is, but I would look this up and then, of course, fill out, maybe the name of the person and have my petition be sent to that person. Again, follow the steps. Each step is going to ask you for something different. When you get to the step here, which I don't know if I will be able, yeah, I can. So once you get to this step, you need to copy paste your petition right here. And of course, you could change the formatting and the font and all of that. What I think you should do is you should write your actual body, the entire petition itself. You should write it in a Google Docs form and then copy paste it here. Make sure you proofread. Then the last step is going to be to add a picture, upload a photo. You can even upload like a URL of some kind. And then when you save and preview, it's going to allow you to check your petition one more time and then go ahead and publish it. So that would be the first idea. Now, I wanted to run you through this because I've used change.org so many times. My students have used it so many times. I've seen so many good petitions that I myself have signed. I have an account open myself. And I've actually, participated in this whole exchange, and I think it's a really good way to get your voice out there. Even if your petition only gets a minimum number of signatures, honestly, it doesn't matter because the goal is to practice the persuasive writing, and that's really what I'm after. So that's why I think it's important to publish the petition. That's why I put here as part of the assignment, if you are going to select this topic, I do want you to publish your petition on change.org. And the tips here are very important to look at. I'm going to go over the source requirements a little bit later, but I did want to show you guys what some of the other tips are. Like, context is everything. You guys, there's so many different topics out there. If you're going to be interested in one, don't expect me to know everything about it. You got to tell me the background, the who, the what, the when, the where. I actually have a chart for you guys that you can use for this just to help you out. I also wrote here that you need to have a specific recipient in mind, whether it's a corporation, whether it's a CEO of a corporation, whether it's a person, like it might be, the manager of a restaurant, whatever it is, whoever it is, you have to have them in mind because that's what petition writing is. It has to be delivered to a person who has a certain power. And then, of course, because a petition is a persuasive form of writing, you want to consider a few things. Like, you got to be respectful. I've seen so much out there, like as far as articles go, in petitions as well. Sorry about that. That are really, really incredibly rude, especially towards President Trump. You can like the guy, you can hate the guy, you can despise the guy, but if you are trying to write a persuasive petition to be delivered to him with the hopes that he's going to do something about it, well, guess what? Don't be rude. Don't be offensive. Oh, oops, my language got cut off here. I was writing here, avoid aggressive, offensive language. I've seen a few students do actually like really mean statements in their petitions, like, you are probably too dumb to understand. No, please don't write like that. That's not going to convince anybody. If you're trying to get me to do something, even if it's like, you're trying to get me to give you a higher grade because maybe you think you've been graded unfairly, you're not going to be like, hey, teacher, you're so stupid, correct this mistake. That's not really going to resonate well with an audience, especially if you're asking them to do something. So watch your language, be careful with your language, please. And ultimately, follow some of the rules that I have here. I'm not going to go over every single one. I think by now you know what the basic requirements are. I do want to just clarify one thing. At the end here, I wrote, your petition should be approximately 4 to 6 pages. This is including your works cited page, and it does not have to follow the MLA rules. So just to show you guys one more time, the way that I would like your petition to be published, let me go back here, sorry. It's going to look just like this. So let's say I'm interested in, I'm just going to click here again because this was a trending one. It's going to look just like that on our actual assignment portal. At the top will be the title, then the image, and then underneath it you will have your name and your audience's name. So notice this person chose Jeff Bezos as the primary audience, and then underneath it is the actual petition. Do you have to follow the MLA format? No, you don't, because that's not what petitions do. That's not the style for petitions. So there is no MLA requirement. You could single space your petition. You just skip lines after each paragraph. And of course, underneath it, I would love to have a link so I could take a look at the petition itself.